Hello students, today we have with us Hassan Khan, AIR 95. We are very happy to have him here. He has been a part of our GS Foundation course. He was a part of the online
Yes.
classroom program in 2022. And Hassan is already in services. He was training in Lucknow for IRTS. We would like to understand from Hassan the journey which has been very fulfilling with its own set of challenges, and we hope to draw a lot of points which will enable all other students, future aspirants to prepare well. So Hassan, welcome.
Thank you.
So much of congratulations. And my first question is along the expected lines.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel to be in that hallowed service?
Sir, it takes time to sink in because the feeling is too much for me and my entire family, and my friends are also too happy. I'm trying to feel the difference that I will be getting, but right now I am very much down to earth, and I just want to live this moment of joy and happiness.
Obviously, I think in India it is said, especially in many states, you come from Madhya Pradesh, Jhansi, that when a child clears this examination, it is a moment of celebration for the entire community. It inspires thousands of the future aspirants as well.
Definitely.
So to begin with, please help us with your academic journey.
Okay, sir. So sir, my academics was till class 12th. I did my schooling from my hometown Urai only. And then after that I came here in Delhi and I joined this Kirodimal College of Delhi University. So I joined this BA History Honours program, BA History Honours. So for the 3 years I kept on understanding what are the nuances of history, how should I read it, and others different perspective within history. And I must say that my academics was so much enriching for me because my professor was so much experienced in that subject. And then I became so much interested because in my earlier years of my history honors, I was not too much interested because I was not getting enough things from history. But by the end of my 3 years, I became so much interested in understanding history that I went on doing this MA as well in history only.
Oh, great.
So I did my MA as well in history from Kirodimal College of Delhi University, same college. And then in 2022 I started preparing for this course for this
post-COVID,
post-COVID, yes,
online mode.
Yes, online mode. So in 2022 I joined this program full-fledgedly, and I dedicated myself. And then gradually in my third attempt I got into this service as well.
So you have appeared in all the 3 attempts in your mains?
Yes, sir. In my first attempt, I also appeared for the interview as well. But because of my marks in mains was not too good, because I left a good chunk of my optional paper.
90 marks.
90 marks I left. Yeah, so it went blank only. So that's why I could not get into proper marks in mains only. So I could not go into this service. But in second attempt, I got good marks in my mains as well as in an interview. So I got into this Indian Railway traffic service. And now this time I think that marks must have improved, and that's why I am here.
So you are from history background.
Yes, sir.
And you also chose history optional as a subject.
Sir. Yes.
We'll come to that.
Yes.
Tell me one thing.
Yes.
We are having a discussion that till class 12th,
yes,
you have been doing exceedingly well in your science subjects.
Yes, sir.
And then you made this move from science to humanities. What inspired or what was the trigger to make this change?
So first of all, because it was this science, so I was very much interested, but because from my 10th onwards, I was dreaming of becoming an IAS officer.
Oh, great.
So that's why I think what should I do next to it? Should I go for the engineering and then come back to the UPSC, or should I go with the flow? So what might help me in my UPSC journey? So I thought that after 12th, I should do something related to humanities. And then because of my schooling days, I was interested in history as well. So I thought I should go with the history option, history subject as a humanity. And then when I did my graduation, then I became interested. And so I thought that I am having a background in history, so I should choose optional history as well in that paper. So and my parents also supported me a lot. So because I was changing my stream, so what they supported me, that whatever you think that it should be your clarity of thought, and if you think that it would help you, you should go with this flow. And so I chose humanities and then kept on excelling in that subject.
Very good. So you had a clarity of thought and a vision
Yes, sir.
to do something along these lines.
Yes.
So you chose your academic
Yes,
journey in
sir.
this way. We'll start with your experiences with the foundation program
Yes.
of Vajiram and Ravi.
Yes.
Please tell us how this 1 year that you spent with us, and even after that
Yes.
in various capacities, was very helpful to you in not only academic but also in giving a right orientation for UPSC CSE.
Yes. Yes, sir. Because sometimes my friends used to call me that you are the sponsor of Vajiram and Ravi, because on your table everything is related to Vajiram and Ravi.
Acha, you followed all the sources of Vajiram and Ravi.
Yeah. So for even for the current affairs, not too many students used to follow this current affair magazine of recital, but I stick to that one. So I, for the current affairs, for the foundation, for yellow books as well, I kept on reading only the yellow books. Even my first attempt, I even did not read Lakshmi Khan. I read yellow book only.
Yellow books.
So I kept on reading my yellow books thoroughly for my basic concepts only. And during the foundation classes as well, so your concept becomes so much clear, especially for the geography, for the economics subject, or even for the polity subject. So that gave me a strong foundation to me. And that helped me a lot, because even during my mains, I can think something related to my foundational classes as well.
So you could relate the concepts which were discussed in the class while writing answers in your mains.
Yes, sir. So it became so much helpful for me, that because my foundation is very much strong. And that helped me a lot even during my prelims days. So in my 3 attempts, I cleared prelims with good enough 100 plus 110 marks plus every time.
So the sources here, class notes plus
yellow books and your current affairs magazine, the only source. I did not follow too many magazines and other things. I just stick to one monthly magazine. Just stick to one monthly magazine, current affairs for that one. And then for your basic notes, the class notes and your yellow books. That's it. And that kept on helping me in clearing prelims with ease, I would say this.
Definitely, whatever you have just said is going to calm down the nerves of many aspirants who are appearing and are in a state of doubt, given the plethora of options
and sources
that is there. There is one very important thing that has come up in the last few years, given the advent of AI. Chat GPTs come up with structured response, that to what extent classroom coaching is still very relevant, and how does it help at a time when we cannot say that today there is a content monopoly, because content is available. So please help us understand and guide the students that how classroom coaching still gives you an edge when there is so much of resource all around.
Yes, sir. Because it is said that because of the AI, there is a information overflow is there overall. But the thing is that for the clarity of the concept, the teacher might give you the experience that he is having of those years than when he is teaching. So that becomes a bit more easy for him or her to teach you in whatever capacity, what is required for the CSE. Because if you are doing from the AI and other things, the things might be that they might teach you of the higher level, or they might tell you of the lower level. But what is required in the CSE? Who would tell you?
The optimal level of
standardization. So they would tell you that, okay, you need to do this word only. So I used to think that for our science classes, Binoy sir is there.
Binoy
Krishna sir is there. So I used to think that whatever he taught me in the classroom, I just revised that notes and I used to get the question in prelims only.
Oh, great.
So I thought what he knows that, okay, this question is going to us and he kept it, you should mark it as a star and you would be getting this question. In my first attempt only, I got this question of science and tech. So I used to think, okay, they have the experience of what an examiner or evaluator might ask you in your prelims or in your mains. And that's why they are giving you that kind of edge that AI might not give you. So AI might give you the content, but how much content, how much in depth and how much capacity you should understand, that the teacher usually help you a lot.
Very good, very good. That's good. Last year also, I was having a discussion that you somehow missed out on 55 marks in your optional paper, but this time you were able to complete.
Yes, sir.
So answer writing
Yeah.
is a very, very important component,
Yes, sir,
both in GS optional and of course the essay part.
Essay.
How did you manage answer writing? Do you write, or were you writing answers on a daily basis, or did you start writing answers only after prelims? How did you do that? Because that's a big question
Yes, sir.
amongst the students.
Yes, sir. In my first main, so I missed that part very much because I kept on revising my content only, and I could not practice too many test papers. So it affected me a lot. So I just somehow completed my GS paper. So I could not complete my optional paper in my first attempt as well. In my second attempt, I tried to write as many tests as possible, but just stick to one schedule of the test series. So I did not write too many test series or too many things, just stick to one test schedule and just kept on revising my content, and then I giving my test, and then just one or two tests, and then two full-fledged full-length tests. Yeah. So what, and I did my more means preparation during my prelims and mains days.
Those 3 months.
So the test series I wrote only for the those 2 months only. And before that I used to enrich my content only. So I enrich my content before prelims, and I would be reading about the prelims only, and after prelims I would be focusing on my mains only. So I go by step approach. So for prelims you should focus on the prelims, for mains for entire dedication to the mains only. So test series I wrote only during this time, but I used to see that answers for the daily basis, especially for the mains part. For the mains part, I used to see how the others are writing, and if I'm getting enough time, then some in 1 week or 2 weeks, I used to also write some tests. But I did not write too many tests.
Not too many tests, but you did analysis of whatever you used to do.
Yes.
Great. A prelims paper run in the next 2 months.
Yes, sir.
You have been clearing prelims consistently in all your attempts.
Yes, no.
Please help the students understand, one, how to manage the vast syllabus.
Yes.
This is something that students often ask us, me also.
Yes.
And second, stress. So we'll do it one by one.
Okay.
We'll start with the syllabus management.
Okay.
Then we'll come to the stress management.
Okay.
And finally the time management.
Okay.
Fine. So this is something like STS, that Gandhiji also said.
Yes, sir.
So start with the syllabus, please.
So for the syllabus, what I used to do, that I would be focusing on those subjects that I am having any strength. So, and strength and weakness part.
Okay.
So I know that my history is good. So I would not be focusing initially on the history part. But I think that because my economics and environment is weak, so I would be starting, if I am starting from the January onwards, so I would be completing those subjects that I might feel that I am weak into. So there should not be any fear psychosis in my mind.
That's a very good takeaway point. Start with your Achilles heel.
Achilles, yeah. So you've started from that area. And then gradually you started to those areas where you are at ease. So for instance, in polity, I am at ease. So I would be doing polity in my last time. So for April or March last end. So I would be doing polity as well as history, because I am doing good in history. For the economics, I would be doing this. So you should identify the areas where you need to work upon early, and then you need to work upon effectively on those subjects. And for those subjects, how to cover your syllabus, just stick to concepts. The concepts are very much required. So the static books are there. You should try to cover them effectively as much as possible. Just try to revise the main concept in that, and then you should try to practice the PYQs for those subjects. So they stick to the concept, the static part, the fair concepts of those subjects, and then give the PYQ and see how in what depth the UPSC is trying to ask the question from that subject. For the environment, their question might be related to the current developments, but for the economics, the question would be more related to your concepts, the revenue deficit, finance deficit, and other deficit. So you should identify the themes of every subject. And then if I'm weak in my, for instance, I am not too good in environment. So I would not be attempting too many questions from the environment as well.
Okay.
So I would be focusing on my areas there I might be doing good. And then during my prelims days or for my test or exam, I would be focusing on those areas. So I used to do this thing in my prelims days, that when I get this paper, so I used to think that, okay, so it started with environment. So I'm not at ease with environment. So I should not be very stressed about okay, I'm not getting question and I'm not getting answer of this question. I should wait till my areas are coming. So I would be waiting, okay, from 50 for one question, the history has started.
So you'll flip through the pages,
Yeah, so I would
and find out which are the
So I would be
areas
going through
where
the
you have to
questions
start. Very
properly.
good.
Yeah. But I would be waiting. I would not be too much stressed. Okay, so I'm not getting good question and this paper has been too tough and others thing. It starts because if you are going for the first time or second time and you are thinking, okay, this question I have not read or these questions are very difficult, you should wait at least for the your question. At least till your question, your strength of the questions would be coming to you. And for instance, in 2023 is my first attempt. The question started from the environment only, and I was not too good in environment. So I wait. Okay, so from 51 onwards, the question was from the history, and for the at least for the 75 till the 75, the question was history, and I am doing good in history. So that gave me confidence.
That lifted your mood.
Yeah, so it lifted my mood, and then I went back to my environment question, and I got them also as very correct. So that might also help you to control your
stress. This is how we should manage.
Yeah.
One very basic but very important question which students ask for prelims preparation, that on a daily basis, how should we divide the hours? Because you are in service, you have done exceedingly well. They would like to hear it from you that if on an average, आप कितना पढ़ते थे हर दिन?
Usually around 8 to 10 hours. That should be there. So during it is not that it should be the uniform. So what 8 to 10 hours is on average, but during the prelims days or that's close to prelims, I might read for the 15 hours as well. Okay. So it depends upon the time that what at
Abhi maan lijiye, today is 8th.
So 8, so around 10 to 12 hours I should study properly.
For this year prelims.
Yes, for this year prelims, because consistency is very much required. You can't do this thing. I would be studying for the 15 hours 1 or 2 days, and then I would be having for just 4 hours. So you can't do this thing. If you are doing this consistently, okay, 8 hours I would be doing, so that would be on cumulative basis. It would be more than your 1 or 2 times hard work. So that becomes very much easy. And I used to do 2 or 3 subjects at a time.
Achha, 2 to 3 subjects.
2 to 3 subjects.
Okay.
So it should not become a bit monotonous to me. So I am reading history. So if I have to cover entire syllabus in 2 days, it would be becoming too much heavy on me. So I would be doing something related to history, and then I would be doing science and tech. So something objective, something subjective. So this make me curious about these subjects as well. So you should choose your subject very wisely. Okay, so history, then something related to science, then environment, something related to economics. So you can mix 1 or 2 subjects properly.
More dynamic plus some static.
Yeah, some static. So it makes yourself also interesting. Okay, I have learned new thing today. So this also keep you warm, and you do usually
you keep yourself involved.
So I used to for instance, in a day I would be dividing my day in for the first subject, and then I would be doing for the afternoon part I would be doing CSET, because you can't ignore your CSET. So
was CSAT a cause of concern?
No, it was not too much of a concern, because I did my basic PYQ. I did my basic PYQ, and it was but I never take a risk. So I'm a very risk-averse person.
Planned person, I would say.
Yes, sir. So I used to think, okay, I am weak in this, I should work upon this. So I thought that, okay, CSAT might be a cause of concern for others. It might also be a cause of concern for me as well. So I should focusing on from the January or February onwards, I should focus on
CSAT on a daily basis.
Yeah, on a daily basis. So I would be doing at least for 1 or 2 hours, I would be just doing CSAT. And for the evening part, I would be doing another subject. And for that, for 1 or 2 hours, I would be doing my current affairs. So I used to do current affairs from the monthly magazine only. So I did not rely on the last minute consolidated notes, something like that. Okay. Because if you do on a monthly basis, it stick to your mind. And you can't recall, and even I can recall things from the 2023, 2024 years as well, because you have doing monthly newspaper as well as your monthly magazine. So it help you a lot. So I divide my day for one subject, static part, second subject, static part, CSAT, and my current affairs. That's the program I should stick to at least for 1 or 2 months related when I'm very close to the prelims. Yeah.
Did you fix a timeline for subjects, or were you flexible in that? Because students ask, कि सर ज्योग्राफी कितने दिन में करें?
Yeah, I never fixed a very rigid timeline. I used to think on a days wise. So, for instance, today is 8th of March. So, I would be just having a rough idea. Okay, I have to finish this polity. I should finish at by 14th of March. But I would not be too rigid or too harsh on me that okay, I have to just finish my polity. I have not finished my polity till the 14th. You should try your optimum, your maximum, whatever you can, trying to complete your 14th. But if it is a 16th of March and I am completing my Lakshmi Khan, that should not be a cause of worry for me that I have been very harsh and I have not done good. I have been a bit flexible with my timelines. But because I have been doing 2 or 3 things simultaneously, so it becomes a bit easy. Okay, I have done this subject as well. I have done this subject as well. So 2 things are going on a parallel basis. So it is not a cause of worry.
Great. We'll start with history subject also, because you have been an expert, and not only an expert, you have been topping your college despite having the early hiccups or butterflies in your stomach.
Yes.
So first, there is a common perception that history as a subject is not rewarding and is very challenging in terms of the syllabus management. What is your take on that? Because you have done exceedingly well.
Yes, sir. With respect to syllabus, it becomes a burden or the thing need to be completed only when you are not interested in that subject. So the only suggestion for choosing your optional is your interest only. The first criteria should be your interest. And second, if you have done that thing in your graduation or you are having an academic background, it helps you a lot. So when I chose my optional, because I was having also a background in history, so I was knowing that this is the length of this subject, and I was not very much burdened about the completion of this subject, but rather I was worried that there should be something more academic excellence in my answers. The focus should be on the excellency in your optional, because optional is questions are more in depth, not in like you can't write them as a GS answer. You need to show your depth. So I used to prepare my academic optional paper in my depth only. So that's never become a syllabus, never become a concern for as far as the rewarding point is concerned. So I used to think so for some it might happen, and for some years some papers might not do good, but it does not do good for the too many years. It is not the case. For instance, our ma'am's Shruti Sharma ma'am, she was also rank 1 and she get this from the history option. And for 2023 as well, rank 9 was also from history.
This year also we have a couple of toppers in the top 100.
So history is also rewarding, but the thing is you need to be interested in that subject. And then if you are showing your depth in your answers, especially in optional answer, and if you're completing your paper properly, then it would be definitely rewarding to you as well.
You spoke about depth in answers. What, according to you, because you have been successful in getting good marks, what, according to you, is a good history optional answer, and how can we differentiate it? Because there is a lot of overlap. The topics that we study in modern India, we see in optional also.
As well.
So, what is, according to you, how should one approach answer writing, and what should be the areas one should focus upon?
For history itself, the good history answer would be like there are not too many facts. Facts should be there, but facts should not define your answer only. Because if, for instance, in modern history in GS1, we would be focusing more on personality, event, and the dates only. But for the optional as well, there should be more analysis of your answer. So if a question is related to some for event, for instance, this question was that 1942 revolution, Quick India movement was a quick revolution or something, a spontaneous revolution.
Yes. So
now here you can't write, okay, this event happened, that event happened. You need to show why you are saying that it is a spontaneous revolution. And then you would be also countering this perspective as well. So in history, most of the historians' argument are perspective based on certain sources and facts. So when you are showing your answer, you are writing your answer, you would be starting from the fact and then you would be coming to the analysis of those perspective, and you are also writing some historian argument. So I also tried to mention some historians name in my answers. So if I know that this is the argument of this historian, I would also try to mention his name. So this also shows my academic depth. So this should show them your analysis in the history. So that would be a more good answer of the history as well.
So historiography is a very important,
Yes, sir.
along with having arguments.
Arguments, yes, sir.
So there is, I think now you have helped to clear the myth that
Yes.
history optional
Yeah.
is not just about facts.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, it is more argumentative and
More,
narrative,
yes.
analytical in
Yes.
nature. You have been from history background,
Yes.
and that helped you to make this transition into history optional very
Yes.
easily,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
In fact, even before you started preparing for optional, you were aware of most of the
Most of
syllabus.
the-
How is it possible, and for a person who is from a non-history background
Mm.
to take and do excel in this, means to do exceedingly well in this
Mm.
subject? Please help us with that also. What is your opinion on that?
For that one, the need would be, first of all, you should try to create a base for your history as well.
Okay.
So before coming into the full-fledged optional paper, so the sources of the optional paper, you should try to get us something related to the what are the facts of the history. So just revise your basic concept. For instance, you can do even the NCRTs for those subjects, even for the history. So just revise ancient India, medieval India, modern India, and the world history. You should have a clarity of your facts, and then come into the optional, and then take an interest into the subject. The history should flow as a story, as an evolving story. It's a human evolution. So the institutions are evolving, the principles are evolving, in what context they are evolving. So if you take as a story and in a proper context, that would become very much interesting, and then you would not be feeling very burdened about the syllabus, the vastness of the syllabus, because every bit of the syllabus is part of a story only. So that's become very interesting. Okay, so the French Revolution has happened, and now the story going to the Russian Revolution. So one is the middle class revolution, and another is the lower class revolution.
Yes.
So it is like flowing like a river. It's a story. So when you take as a story, then that would definitely give you more interest, and when you get the interest, that it becomes
Yes,
very
in the
easy.
classroom also, even
Yeah.
in GS,
In GS,
we
as well.
have this approach.
Yes,
And I
sir.
think having done GS
Yes.
with a lot of sincerity,
Yeah.
it gives you that base.
Yeah, that ways. Yeah. Even for instance, I should I should thank you as well during your GS classes, your world history. So I was having a background in optional only, but even then whenever your class used to be in world history, I used to just sit and kept on listening, because I'm not to write too many things,
Acha.
but because you were discussing in such like a story, and the basic keywords you are using in the class. So I used to listen it very properly. And I should thank you that you also gave me again interest in my world history as well, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hassan, we'll also discuss something about your interview.
Yes.
Because last year also, as
Yes.
we were discussing,
Yes.
you did exceedingly well, 195 marks.
Yes, sir.
And this time, Sujata Chaturvedi's ma'am
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
So tell me first that how does the GS Foundation reading newspaper contribute to your interview preparation? Because generally it is a myth that interview preparation should begin only once you
Once, yes.
have been
Yes.
summoned, or you
Yeah.
are there in that list. But is it a long process?
Yes, and definitely it's a long process, because you can't see a UPSC journey as a isolated events. You should take as an integrated approach. So I never thought that it is a part of prelims, it is a part of mains, and I should cover it as an interview. Whenever the GS was going on, I was trying to build my foundation very properly. So
Okay.
the foundation questions are foundation courses are in so much in depth. So whenever, even in my interview, in my mains, the question would be related to something factual or something conceptual, I would be answering it very thoroughly. So that's why in the interview phase, you would be asked question related to your concepts as well. And then you need to show that depth. Okay, so I know the concept properly. It is not the case that I have just shallow understanding. So in interview, you need to show this depth, and then the GS usually help you. And for the newspaper understanding, because in newspaper, the one thing is the current affairs, current event, what are going on in the system, in the international relations, in the current system. Another thing is the perspectives as well. So in the newspaper, you usually get one perspective in one day, then another perspective would be coming out, and you are learning, okay, so this one is perspective is this, another perspective is this, and then you are trying to synthesize those perspectives. So
do you would you prepare notes on a daily basis for newspaper?
No, sir. I usually don't make notes, because I used to do monthly magazine as well.
Monthly magazine.
So for the factual part, it would be covered. But for the perspective and analytical part, I should keep on understanding newspaper daily basis. So when you keep on doing this, so I have been doing this almost for the 8 or 9 years. So when I want in my graduation days only, so I started doing newspaper from my second year only, and I kept on till my interview this year. So it has been a long journey. So it gives you an analytical perspective, how the things are, the writers are writing things, and that help you a lot your interview phase, because even interviews, the panel member might ask you from one perspective, and you would be agreeing with his perspective, but you would also be giving another perspective. So it helps me a lot in that perspective as well, sir.
Oh, that's great. Hassan, you'll be joining IAS very soon, and we wish you to get that cadre of your choice.
Yes.
One question is that we study, students prepare a lot, get a lot of information, perspective. How does all this help you when actually you are on ground? Because there is a feeling that so much of hard work, but then all of this starts dissipating, it starts fading away. So tell me this.
So basically, sir, the understanding that I had from multiple subjects. So I had the good background now, and I am also having historical background as well.
History.
So when I would be in the ground, so I would try to connect those, my academic understanding, with my real life experiences. And I try to translate those at least good case studies or good initiatives that I have been reading about. I should try to at least emulate them into the ground, and I should try to improve even some of the lives if I can improve. And that would be very helpful. And the academic background would be helping me. So how to correlate with your geography information, with your economics information, and with the environment and other things. And that would definitely should help me a lot in my upcoming career, sir.
I can clearly see that you have not only prepared, you have lived this preparation.
Yes, sir.
You have lived the experiences, and this subject history,
along
with all the other subjects, have evolved you as a more mature, a multi-dimensional person. And we wish you all luck.
Thank you.
We wish you all luck, and I'm sure that many more aspirants would look forward to interact with you whenever they get time.
Yes, definitely.
And you will be an inspiration for many thousands of people in your district, Jhansi.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Jhansi already has a history of itself.
Yes, sir.
So Jhansi will have another very historical figure.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you so much for giving time.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to have more interactions with you in future.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.